Whatever. Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest, most golden music nerd. Here it's time for a weekly track roundup. My thoughts on a bunch of tracks, whether I loved them or hated them or felt somewhere in between, that dropped over the past week or so. Giving you my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions. That's pretty much the deal. That's the story. That's what happens in these videos. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and do that. A quick shout out also to stuff that is down in the description box, like our Turntable Lab link. We get kickback from it if you use it to buy some records, some turntable stuff, some whatever. Also our Patreon page, if you want to support us, maybe get some extra bonus monthly content in the process. Access to our Discord community too. Also our YouTube Shorts page, where you can see all that cool short form content we drop week to week, and our revamped website with a whole full news section that is updated quite regularly, where you get updates on new albums, tours, new tracks, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, check it out. Link down below. Awesome. All right, quick also, before we get into tracks, a shout out that has been thrown into the mix by none other than Austen, who says she wants to quickly shout out one of her favorite record labels, Erstwhile Records, which she has done in the past, for their 100th main series release, Wovenland 3. It's a triple album of field recordings and noise that has the vibe of reality coming apart at the seams. Could maybe even see fans of the last Caretaker album getting into this. That's cool. But you can probably tell from the previews if it's going to be anything for you. So link to that down below so you can check it out for yourself. All right, let's head into the worst tracks of the week. We have just a couple, starting off with Bam, a new one from Benny X and Yeet, sampling Super Heaven. It's kind of like this weird rage, psych trap, alt rock sampled song that it's a weird mix of vibes, and I don't really feel like it's quite working. But hey, you know, if it goes well for them, it goes well. And also not really digging the new Sophie single featuring BB Borelli, unfortunately. Obviously, this upcoming posthumous album is going to feature a wide array of different tracks, especially considering Sophie has done super experimental cuts, straightforward dance cuts, mainstream pop cuts, has worked with a pretty wide range of artists, or did over the course of her career. So it seems like, you know, we're going to be getting a bit of a taste of everything on this upcoming album. And while I have liked the previous singles to the record, this one, Exhilarate, not quite so much. Not really my tempo. Not really my I guess, like, you know, style of pop. Seems a little conventional for something Sophie related. However, again, you know, Sophie has provided production for a lot of different artists over the years. Some experimental, some not so much. This sort of seems like to be on the latter side of that spectrum. And again, not quite my vibe, and I'll leave it there. All right, the tracks I was meh on, a little on the fence with, but you might like them more than me. They are as follows. We have a new one from Victoria Monet, kind of a big, huge, mainstream R&B duet with Usher. Sex on Sight is the name of the track. And yeah, again, lots of star power, interesting crossover, but as a song, by the normal standards of this style, of this genre, of this lane, I just feel like it's kind of okay. You know, nothing too crazy, but for sure the vocal chemistry is there. At the very least, we can say that. All right, we also have one from Tommy Richmond, who is really like playing the consistency card with these new tracks, with these new singles. I thought you about the bun is the name of this new one, and yeah, pretty much features the same vocals, same perks, same kinds of keys, just kind of a different tune, different lyrics. But hey, you know, if you really liked $1 Million Baby, you might enjoy this as well. All right, also TOKiMONSTA has a new very smooth one out that also features Anderson .Paak as well as Ray Khalil. On Some is the title. It's okay, you know, it's soft, it's sweet, it's cool while it's on, but it's not necessarily like, you know, driving me back to it or anything like that anytime soon. We have one from Stevie Wonder, really coming through with some DNC pop on this one. Can We Fix Our Nation's Broken Heart is the name of the track. And yeah, you know, it's a ballad with big hopes for a brighter future. I get it. you know, I can get behind some positivity. Is it a little corny? Yeah. Yeah, most definitely it is. But with Stevie, it always comes from a very kind of like loving, authentic place. You know he means it deep down, and it's endearing in that sense, even if it's not like, you know, one of his greatest songs ever. Also, killer harmonica solo. Stevie's whipping out the harmonica on this one too, so shout out for that. We have one from Michelle, the third single from their forthcoming album, Songs About You specifically. The tracks have really covered a range of styles. This one, I feel like they didn't quite put as interesting a spin on, but still it is a you know, very capable and decent kind of like 70s glammy little electric keys type ballad. It's cute. It's sweet. It's a decent listen. It's titled Kathy. We also have one from Kim Gordon, who is teaming up with Model Home on this one. Razzmatazz is the name of the track. It doesn't really stand up to any of the cuts off of Kim's recent solo LP, but, you know, if you're looking for more music from her that kind of goes in like an experimental spoken word hip-hop, abstract hip-hop type direction, most definitely give this one a shot. Give it a spin. We have also one from Data Girl, as well as Death's Dynamic Shroud. Some very kind of like, you know, digital, super idyllic, terminally online electronic pop on this one. The vocals weren't really doing too much for me, and the production for Death's Dynamic Shroud's usual standards is pretty conventional, but hey, you know, it's listenable for sure. You know, it'll probably catch the ears of some people who aren't usually into DDS's like more experimental stuff. I'll say that. Okay, the best tracks of the week. We have quite a few of those. Let's make our way through. They are as follows. Bam! Swedish House Mafia comes through with a really great, strong, glitzy, but quality house single featuring some great vocals from Alicia Keys. It's bold, it's fun, it's straightforward. It's very cut and dry, but still catchy and exhilarating to listen to. All the same. We also have a new couple of tracks from The Smile from their forthcoming record, Cutouts. So presumably this is like, I don't know, extra songs from the sessions that the last album came out of, songs that wouldn't have made sense on the last album. I don't really know what like the, you know, full, I guess like rationale is behind this album, but The Smile are still coming through with 2 albums this year, all the same. Foreign Spies is the spacier and more abstract and ambient of the 2 tracks, but Zero Sum, the track I would like to specifically point to here, is actually quite the rocker, very groovy, very percussive, and some wild licks and riffs on that one too. I'm liking it a lot. I could see why it wouldn't have made the last album, because it is kind of like, you know, it would have handily been the most aggressive song on the record, but man, it's funky, it's rocking. I'm liking that one a lot. Moving on from there, SHEBAD, which is this up-and-coming group that has a new single out titled Black Walnut. I'm really liking this one. It's got elements of funk and soul. The violin licks and the horns are great. The bass line is killer. The vocals are impressive too. It's just like it's just a whole vibe. It's a whole groove. It's everything kind of getting mashed together, and it's very melodic. It's very fun. It's very, again, groovy. 8 Ways Till Sunday, and I'm really liking what this group is doing on the single. I'm gonna have to look into more of what they do as they continue forward. So again, SHEBAD. Also, A$AP Rocky has seen fit to officially drop the music video and single for his long-leaked Taylor Swift or Taylor Swif single. So cool that that's like out and about. Maybe it is just a tad bit more entertaining with the music video attached, but it's still a fun little banger all the same. So it's cool that it's seeing an official release. I will say that. Okay, we also have The Last Dinner Party, who are coming through with a cover out of the blue, off of like, you know, kind of a revamped version of their new record that has like some versions of songs off the album. But this track over here is actually a cover of the Sparks song, This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us. And, you know, actually, I'm surprised it didn't really dawn on me previously that Sparks could like potentially be a big influence on the band. But like, given how zany and theatric and over the top like a lot of their stuff tends to be, it makes absolute and just complete sense, and it's an excellent cover I mean, they really kind of lean into the dramatics of it and do the song way more justice than I think most artists would. Sparks are not an easy to cover group because I feel like a lot of the magic behind Sparks music comes down to like attitude, you know, and comes down to, you know, a lot of camp too. There's camp in there. And, you know, if The Last Dinner Party does anything well, it's that. So, you know, really cool to hear them really nail it on this cover. We also have LL Cool J, who has an upcoming album titled The Force, which seems to have some sick production on it from Q-Tip, including on this track that has Eminem on it, Murdergram Deux. And man, these two guys are rapping their asses off on this track, and the beat is killer. Absolutely great. I mean, I didn't know LL was still rapping like this. He's rapping his ass off. It's sick. It's great. It's fantastic. I'm liking this one a lot. Really looking forward to hearing the rest of this record, especially since you know, I've tried a few tracks from it, and it seems like a very kind of tasteful throwback. And again, that Q-Tip production is doing its thing. So LL Cool J, Murdergram Deux. Really liking this one. All right, we have indie rock legend Kim Deal, who has a new record on the way, a few singles out from it, including Crystal Breath, which is a very kind of funky, groovy, gruff, rough around the edges, post-punky rocker, where her vocals are just going off. I'm liking everything about it. And the other single's a lot more kind of low-key, ballad-like, has some trumpets in the mix there. Kind of seems like she's really going to be covering a range of styles on this next album, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, Kim Deal, still doing her thing. Hell yeah. A couple more. Jamie XX has an ambitious crossover of sorts with this new single featuring Kelsey, John Glacier, and Panda Bear. Dafodil is the name of the track. It's also got a very bold vocal sample on it, which the guest vocals kind of tie into. They bounce off of. Maybe you can call it a call and response thing, however you want to say it. There's a lot of layers to this track. It's a very unconventional dance song, too, with an interesting progression. Quite experimental, but still very sweet and very enjoyable. Again, Daffodil is the name of the track, and really liking the creativity on this one for sure. All right, we have Godspeed, You Black Emperor. Post-rock legends have a new album on the way. Of course, the title is very clearly in reference to the ongoing genocide in Palestine, specifically in Gaza. And yes, we have the closing track to that album teased out as a single right now, Grey Rebel, Green Shoots. And it's a very mournful, heavy, string-kissed waltz, instrumental, very cinematic, very huge, very epic. Loving the progression, quite dark as well, and you know, fitting, giving the harrowing inspiration that it is pulling from. Okay, we have Gut Health, who has come through with a new song titled Stiletto, which is magnitudes longer than their two previous singles up until this point, 7 minutes plus, and it's like this very linear, groovy, art punk, I guess you could say meditation of sorts, with a lot of layers, some great groovy bass, some intense vocals too. Really liking the progression, liking the energy. Gut Health continues to be one of the most exciting up-and-coming bands in Australia at the moment, just based off of a handful of tracks. All right, we have Gojira. Shout out to them. They have done an official release for the kick-ass track that they played during the French Olympic opening, which was quite entertaining. Mea Culpa is the title of that if you needed a refresher. We also have Flow, this upcoming UNK, sorry, why did I say UNK? UK R&B trio, have just been 4 for 4 on all of these singles to this forthcoming album they have on the way. In fact, I've just been like consistently impressed with you know, all their releases that I've heard, all their stuff that I've heard up until this point, because it's just such a well done version of a classic R&B sound with great vocals, great songwriting, fantastic production, which is also the case for this latest one over here, Bending My Rules. And while it's not the snappiest track I think they've come out with, I think it's vocally the flashiest and most technical that they have put out. And there's some great sort of like, you know, synced up tie-ins with like some horn lines in the song as well that are really impressive. But Flow is absolutely killing it again with one track after the next, Caught Up, which was also fantastic. But yeah, check this one out too. All right, we have Cordae, who's come through with a track featuring Anderson .Paak. Anderson has 2 features out? this week. That's crazy. That's crazy. Summer Drop is the name of it. Like the title insists, it's got some groovy, summery vibes. And given that it is Anderson and Cordae, of course, like, you know, they're rapping their asses off a little bit. It's a great vibe. And they've got some good quality chemistry. A lot of creative overlap for sure. All right, last one. Caribou, Daniel Snaith, electronic music producer extraordinaire, Come Find Me. Brand new single, new album on the way. And this track is grooving. You can really get lost in it. And, you know, it's really just kind of classic Caribou all the way if you enjoy some left field dance music. So give this one a listen as well. That's going to be it for the weekly track roundup. Hopefully you got some good recommendations out of this video. Yeah. You guys are the best. I will see you in the next one. Anthony Fantano, weekly tracks forever.